Hello guys, this is a Hulse 26 Tyrannical I did a few days ago. These are pugs. We were on voice on Discord, but still they were pugs. Throughout the whole run, since we had the Survival Hunter and the Warlock, so we had two very big AoE damage dealers. I basically was the support spec. Um, Even on like the highest of keys, even with mages playing Frost, they always do same damage, let's say, as rogues. So it's only Survival Hunter in my opinion and Warlock that can do like huge amounts of overalls. In this giga big first pool, my job was of course to funnel the shard since we didn't have a rogue. I still didn't do my my single target rotation. I did the AoE one just because there were so many ads. Like doing a single target rotation here would have been fine, but I think I got enough damage on the shard anyways. As you can see, of course the other ads are dying first because it's also tyrannical, not fortified, but the shard is dying almost as fast as them. As I said again, my job this whole run was to funnel the ads that we had to funnel to fill in the roles that were missing, so do a bit more single target. Uh, I get it that when you play a dungeon like this with two very high damage profiles like survival and destro, it can be a bit underwhelming seeing your your name really low on details or recount whatever you're using. You can just uninstall recount or details for the run, to be honest, and it's the same thing. Here I'm trying to get back my AP to funnel the Handmaster, which I did. I also was the only dickers in this run, um, and that can be a bit scary because if two decurses go off, then you can't decurse both. So I asked the team to do some soft CCs on them. Um, Also, again, as Arcane compared to Frost, we have much lower haste, so decursing is like decursing very often can be very bad for our rotation. Since if we were on 1 minute 30-second cooldowns or 45-second cooldowns and we use one global to decurse, then we lose one debuff of Radiant Spark because we don't have enough haste to do the global that we missed to decurse. Right now, I only had my 45 seconds coming up, so what I did is first made sure to funnel her because I didn't want anything else to die, and Survival Hunters and Destroy Warlocks are only doing AoE. So I just got it a bit lower, so I'm sure that that's the relic that dies. And I'm not using my single target rotation on my 45-second cooldowns because it doesn't do it that much damage anyways. So I'm just like trying to fill in and do damage. Here two curses got off at the same time, so I dispelled the warlock and blocked the other curse. That was lucky, because if it was, let's say, on... Actually, no, Paladin could have bubbled, Hunter could have turtled. Um, but still, that's what I meant by... I asked the people to do soft CCs, so blind or whatever on the mobs that cast the curses. The DH also didn't care about the bolts, so we could have kicked curses, but I guess Survival Hunters and the Warlocks only want to do AoE. I used my 35 seconds again here, just 30 seconds, sorry, just because, I don't know, I wanted to press some buttons on this pool because I didn't have AP on pool. As you can see, I'm below the tank. Again, it can be really underwhelming, but like, it doesn't really matter, guys, as long as you help the team with what they need, which is a bit of funnel, then it's okay. As I said, even Frost Mages on plus 29s on this dungeon, they do rogue damage. If they play a comp, let's say Rogue with Destro Warlock and Mage. Here again, I'm trying to funnel the Houndmaster. I didn't dispel the Hunter because I wanted to do damage. As you can see, I got 2 crits, so that was actually really good. I could show off that Arcane does some AoE as well if I get lucky with the right setup. as I was on voice, I asked them if he could turtle or if the pally can sack him, and they were like, yeah, no problem, just finish your CDs. Making sure to CC the patrol here on the left, so we can go do the shard afterwards, I think it is. Again, I don't have my big CDs for the shard, which is again really unfortunate because that's what I am here for, but I have to use my CDs on pool on the mobs we have to funnel, and there was a huge inspiring mob on the last pool, so I funneled that. I'm going to re-CC just to be sure, just before my cooldowns, and now I am going to focus so that maybe I get my cooldowns back faster, using my single target rotation here, not to risk getting into melee, because the shard will do the AoE pulse right now. Maybe I should have used my single target rotation on the shard here, since look at how much HP it has now. And now I just used my 45 seconds again because it only has 1 million HP, and I thought it, a waste of using my AP on this because it was gonna die pretty fast anyways. Again, on the biggest pools of the dungeon, I didn't have my CDs on pool, so that was really, bad for overall. But again, I had to be the team player, use my CDs when we needed them, like on the pool before the shard pool, people weren't using all of their CDs, so I did, and there was also an inspiring mob, which, was better. We're doing one more pull and then we're going boss. So I used my 45 seconds again, just to have AP on pull for boss, and even that I managed to fuck up. Playing with pugs as Arcane sometimes can be really, underwhelming because you don't really know how they pull. You're not used to playing with them, so. I'm just gonna make a quick point about the rotation I just used. So I did 2 Arcane Explosions into Barrage, into Arcane Explosion into Barrage. That wasn't great. I didn't have my Arcane Orb ready, and that's what I should have pressed instead of the 3rd Arcane Explosion after the 1st Barrage. But I didn't because I didn't have it on cooldown. So I just did an Arcane Explosion to get my 4th Radiant Spark debuff. And yeah, it still worked out fine. Putting the 2 bats here, so the plan was we're going boss. We were waiting for the boss to do the frontal, and then he goes into the middle pack. So what I thought is he was gonna stay maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds next to the boss, because that's how I saw another bug tank do it. I had everything here, even a like potion, even a Pelagos proc, so I'm doing my single target here. As you can see, I got feared here, so I blocked it and blinked back in. I didn't crit either, so my damage wasn't huge. I'm not even sure I got funnel out of 4 mobs here because he was moving the boss when I did my barrage. But still, I'm trying my best to do single target here because AoE is not needed. Survival Hunter and Warlock are doing it anyways. Luckily, also we got the Paladin focused it, and the tank. I don't know how, but that was great. I was really hoping that he wasn't gonna move out of where I am right now because I'm doing my 45 seconds. I pressed my barrage on the 3rd Radiant Spark stack because I had to move, and since it was only my 45-second cooldowns, it wasn't such big of a DPS loss. I'm still doing very little damage compared to Survival Hunter and this Warlock here because the tank is, in my opinion, moving the boss really weirdly. Like he got me out of the circle twice on both of my CD timers. As a tank, if you play with bugs, please try to look more of how, the DPS have to play. Like, of course you have to move the boss when you have to move the boss, but you have to look at where the ranged are stacked and not move the boss, the boss's circle out of the range DPS's positioning, because then it's like super bad for us. And after the ads are dead, just I'm just pressing my cooldowns as they come, so used my AP again, now I'm using my 4-5 seconds again, of course only the single target rotation, which is 4 Arcane Blasts into waiting a bit into Arcane Barrage. I'm not queuing Arcane Barrage here again, I think I'll make a video about it because many people are asking me why I'm not doing 5 Arcane Blasts and a Barrage with queuing the Barrage right behind the last Arcane Blast. Um, you have to do 4 because if not the Harmonic Echo won't proc on the Barrage. Yeah, I got super baited here. You can also use your blinks smartly on this boss, so that you have to move less. You might consider playing Slipstream on this whole dungeon just because of this boss and the last one. But blinking is also very nice. Also be careful because the pools are a bit invisible here, and don't be afraid to step out of the pools, even if you use your cooldowns, because your Rune of Power range is actually pretty big. Again, look at the where this tank placed the boss. It's like so random. We're supposed to go on the stairs afterwards, so why are we pulling it here? I got no idea. This was a bit random again. I'm using my 30 seconds here because on the next boss I know I'm not gonna use my CDs on pull, I'm gonna wait for the ads. But I still want my 18 stacks, so I didn't use Barrage to not consume the stacks there. As you can see, my AP is in about 50 seconds, but I think I'm gonna get it back for... Oh my god, I trolled so hard here. So, if you pull these ads and you invis, they still come on you for some reason. Like, it doesn't usually happen like that. The arcane invis is the greatest form of invisibility in the game. So when you press it, you should get out of combat and like 100% not break it unless you take damage from something. That's what happened there. But it's fine, I just got rezzed. I tried to have enough time to eat. As you can see, my AP is coming back in 14 seconds. I need some time to do my stacks anyway, so that's alright. We were waiting for Paladin's cooldowns, I think, or something like that. That's why we didn't pull insta. Using my Rune of Power just to do a bit more damage while I do my stacks. Focusing the Relic for obvious reasons, because I'm not using my AP, so I'm just doing the job of focusing the Relic. Using everything here, my Ruby, and doing my single target rotation, hoping that I crit, which I didn't, but I'm still first damage here. Luckily, the jump was on me, so that was great for for my CDs. But again, I didn't crit there. That was a bit unfortunate. The Warlock died because I think he stood in the pool.
AOE incoming.
I gave him Arcane Intellect again.
Target you.
Again, I'm the only decurse, so I have to decurse the target that the boss is targeting. You can also target it by if you have the target of your target in your nameplates.
AOE incoming.
You can just target it like that. Find the right person who's being targeted. I didn't crit here again, and again I'm still the first damage dealer on this boss. I trolled here because I dispelled myself accidentally, but it was the DH, so luckily he didn't die. It's just because I'm like all my CD windows are lining up with ads. That's why Arcane is so good on this, because you have the funnel on the boss every single time.
AOE incoming.
I'm hoping that the ads don't die too fast so I can finish my CDs.
Target you.
I got a crit there. I don't know if you saw that what I did was 3 Arcane Blasts, and in the last Arcane Blast I queued a Arcane Orb so that I can proc the 4th Radiant Spark debuff on the boss before he would jump on somebody, so I could decurse that made my CDs
AOE
finish
incoming.
faster, and I didn't lose that much damage either, since Arcane Mage does a lot of damage in AoE and there were a lot of ads. I'm waiting for them to
Target
stack a
you.
bit. I'm waiting for the Dickers first, because the ads are not gonna die before he jumps anyway, so I'm just
AOE incoming.
Dickersing first. I used Invis here to lose the aggro, but I still got it somehow. I kicked the mobs that I could kick, trying to do some damage with my 45-second CDs. Didn't do that much though.
AOE incoming.
Warlock was Ventir in this run, and he was pumping insanely
Target you.
hard. He did a
Target
lot
you.
of damage.
Killers.
My big CDs are coming back pretty soon. I don't have them now for this ad phase. I don't know why it was so delayed. But I'm going to use my AP right after the next curse, even though the boss is almost dead, but my job is to do single target, so, you know, trying my best to. So what I did here is I decursed and, I mean, I should have blocked. Oh, I did, but I just did it super late.
AOE incoming.
I should have blocked earlier so I could CD earlier. It wasn't scary here, but you know, it's always better if we can go a bit faster. I got a crit as well, so the boss is like dying so fast right now.
AOE incoming.
There you go. It looks like I did less damage than the Survival Hunter, but I think I did more damage to the boss. I don't know why I can't see. I thought I hovered over boss damage here, but I didn't. I checked at the end of the run, and I was first boss damage, like specifically to the boss on every boss pool. So even though it looks like I'm doing the same amount of damage, I'm doing more damage to the boss. Here we had like an inspiring mob, which was really scary, so what I tried to do is just kill her since I wasn't gonna do much damage anyways. Again, being the team player here, doing less damage just so that we're sure we don't die. This tank was tanking the dogs. That was crazy, like look at the damage he's taking, but he's still surviving it. That's insane. He's pumping 24k. Look at the dogs, he's just tanking them this time. I mean, this was very impressive, not gonna lie. Again, I had my job to do here to do decurses, funnel the right ads, not especially, you know, do damage. That's what we have Survival Hunter and Destroy Warlock for. We got double here, which is great. Some people prefer to get Vi and then It's not worth it. If you can CD more with 2 then you just kill twice. It's like so good for both Survival Hunter and me, and also for healing CDs and tank CDs. It's like only the Warlock might benefit from a Vi and the So trying to do my single target rotation here. Since there are more ads for funnel, there are 2 right now. I didn't crit again, so you know my damage is not that big, but what we tried to do is to kill one faster than the other one, so we don't overlap the buffs, because they don't stack, so we would have gotten only one buff, which would have been like a shame. It meant that having 2 was totally useless, but it was perfect. Look, the buff just faded away, and that's when we killed the second So we got cooldown reduction for 20 seconds, which was really crazy. Look how fast I have my EP back. It's like coming up right now. Sadly, oh, it's in a few seconds, so I'm just waiting for the anima thing to finish of the boss and to do my stacks, because if I do it and I get the thing, it's super sad. If I get the AoE under my feet while I'm sitting and I can't stand in my rune of power, it's happening actually pretty often, because he does the Anima Fountain pretty often as well. Here the Warlock was pumping super hard, but again I checked at the end of the boss fight, and I had the same damage single target as them, so maybe he just cleaved a lot on the earth. My knowledge of this Warlock is really low. I don't know how it works, so I can't really understand why he does more damage now, let's say, than to the other bosses. Um, Using my evocation here right before my 45 seconds to be sure I have enough mana. This is again something important, even if we have the 4 set and you know, we get mana from Touch of the Magi, mana regeneration, we still have to have enough mana for CDs. As you can see, I got lucky there because the ghost was next to the boss, so I got funnel off him, so I did 15 more damage on that crit, even though it was only my 45-second cooldowns. My AP is coming up back soon, so what I did is I just CD'd the boss again. Because on the next pool, as Arcane, it's really bad. Like compared to some other classes, compared to Frost, for example, the next room is really underwhelming. You can't perform that high. The only thing I can do is funnel, you know, the big mob, but I can't do it on pool because he's gonna heal anyways. So what I just did is I used my CDs on this boss, and then I'm gonna get them back for when after the yellow ads are dead on the next pool, on the next room. So my purpose was, you know, do CDs when they're actually useful. So in single target right now, and in single target in the next mob. Guessing my evocation though here, just to be sure that I have enough enough mana for arcane explosions, basically, on this pool. So what I choose to do again is to kill and then do my 45-second cooldowns on it. But the relic didn't die fast enough, so what I ended up doing was use my 45 seconds on Cigar, even though he was gonna heal up. I think that's like the AoE I do with the single target rotation is enough to kill the yellow mobs. Like, look how fast they're dying, right? With the help, of course, of the other classes. So doing my AoE rotation there would have meant nothing. And even though my CDs were, well, not wasted, but almost, um, because the big mob healed anyways, well, I still did it because I didn't have anything else to do, to be honest. Like, look at how little my arcane explosion damage does to the targets if I only try to do AoE. So what I try to do is do my single target rotation into the big mob so that my touch of the Magi will explode bigger in AoE. I'm waiting for the mob to heal before I'm using AP here, because if I use it and then he heals, it's honestly super bad. So what I did is I used my Ruby on an ad that had really low HP, so that I have higher chances of critting here, which I didn't. I get up to 56% crit, as you can see on the bottom left, but I still didn't crit. And since I had my AP up right now, I didn't have AP on pool for the boss, which again was really underwhelming because it's almost the only pure single target fight in the whole dungeon, because even the third boss has the ghosts, which you can build some stacks on as some certain specs. Even me, I benefit from the funnel from the ghost sometimes. So I thought maybe, okay, I'm gonna have my CDs for you know, for pool on the next boss, and I'm gonna show them that Arcane does actually more damage in single target, since it's the only single target pure fight. But I didn't have them because it's Tyrannical, so the ad died like much faster than expected. And right now my cooldowns are ready in 29 seconds. I could have asked them to wait, but it's like I didn't do much this run anyway, so why ask them to wait right now? As you can see, the Warlock is doing 35k overall, Hunter is doing 28k, I'm doing 18k. I'm literally doing half of the damage of the Warlock and 10k under the Hunter. I have AP back right up now, so I'm using it. I'm using my instant Arcane Blasts to not get hit by Quaking. Yeah, and they asked us to try to keep for as long as we could, but you know, like I can't stop the damage that Touch of the Magi does to it, so you know.
Shockwave.
I didn't see where the boss was facing there, so I just didn't risk using CDs and dying on them. I just waited for him to do his frontal, which by the way doesn't have a range, so if you stay in the front of the boss like really far, you still get hit by it, so be careful.
Watch your step.
I told them that I could block this because I wasn't on CDs, but they didn't care. The paladin and the tank soaked both of them every single time. The paladin and the tank were pre-made as well, so you know that makes sense. I got a Pelagus proc here, the doubt, and I'm not looking at it yet. I'm looking at it as late as I can, so I have the buff for okay, but I missed it because I'm a beginner apparently. I wanted to look at it really late, so I get it during my AP window, but I didn't. I also got a crit, so oh my god, that would have buffed my crit so high. That was a mistake of me.
Shockwave.
Sometimes watching my replays like this also helps me improve my gameplay. Because I notice what I do wrong or certain, you know, habits that I take and that I should change. So I'm actually thankful for you guys for making me do commentaries because they help me improve a lot as well. Nothing really to say here on the boss fight itself. Oh, see, like this frontal, I had to go away from it because its range is infinite. So if you stay in front of it at 70 yards away, you're still gonna get hit by it.
Watch your step.
I think this was the only boss fight where the hunter had more damage than me just because he had cities on pull and I didn't. Oh yeah, I block soaked this one. When you block soak two of them here, be aware that it's not as long as the cast itself. So what you wanna do is soak like without block the first 2 or 3 seconds and then block. So that block fades after the cast of the boss ends. Because if you block when he starts casting or before, your block is going to fade away before he's finishing casting, and that's when he hurts the most. So you are going to get hit a lot. You are going to die probably. That's what happens.
Shockwave.
So always block a bit later. I got lucky with the crit there. I tried to stay in my run of power range, even though the boss was going to do a frontal, and I managed to do so. So again, guys, in this run, it can look really underwhelming when you see that you have Survival Hunter and Destroy Warlock doing so much more damage than you, but you're actually, in my opinion, as valuable as them. You know, the tank and the healer have their jobs as well. Sometimes we are meta, sometimes we are not. Now we're not, so we're doing our job as, you know, support DPS, just like the rogue does in every single season, in my opinion. So, you know, don't get too hung up on it, just like don't feel bad that you don't do much damage. I still managed to time this key. I was helpful when I could, even though I did like much less damage. We can also time keys with other comps, but in comps where other people do much more DPS, you just are the support spec and be the team player. Thank you guys, and see you on the next one.